All right, guys, so it's official. We have the 6th gen here at Wicked Creations. I'm currently just waiting for a lift to be open because they are packed, crazy busy at the moment. So Wicked Creations is located in Garden Grove, California. I'm gonna leave a link and address and all that good stuff in the description below. But I really quick wanted to give you a quick rundown of what's going on the truck and how we're gonna be doing it. So this is Wicked Creations shop. This is some of the builds they are working on. This is the white 1st gen that you can check out on my YouTube channel that I have been helping them work on, and it has a 3-link kit and a +2 long travel kit. Looks like we have a Tacoma, very custom build, getting a long travel kit on it right here. And of course, their roots, Wicked Creations roots lie in the buggy scene out in the desert, from the body to installing the shocks and the engine and the parts, everything. So these guys are a jack of all trades. And if you come down here, we have everything we need for the 6th gen 4Runner and to turn this thing into a beast. So let's start with the long travel kit itself. This is Wicked Creations 3.5 long travel kit for the 6th gen 4Runner. This is exactly how the kit is shipped to you, obviously in a box with foam and everything around it, so it stays nice and protected. But it comes with all the hardware. You see here, these are Heim uppers, which is definitely recommended in my opinion. You can do a bushing if you like for the uppers, but I do recommend a Heim if you are looking at this kit. Obviously the bottom here are Durlin bushings, so these are high-end bushings, and the kit itself is powder coated in a black. It's a pretty sweet setup. It comes with extended brake lines, limit strap mounts, and limit straps. So I'll be leaving a link in the description for this exact kit for the 6th gen and for the Tacoma. If you want to check out the Tacoma video, I'll pin it in this video below. And moving on to the shocks. This is locked off-road long travel spec shocks for the 6th gen 4Runner. These are a 2.5 bypass with reservoir. These are a 2.5 coilover with 650 pound coilover rating. And these are their rear OEM replacement extended 2.5 shocks for the back. Biggest question with locked off-road shocks are they as good as Kings? And in my opinion, running Kings on my 5th gen back in the day, I did not tell much of a difference running these on the Tacoma. One thing I do like about them is everything is bigger, from the hose fittings, everything is bigger, more fluid be able to get through. There's a whole science behind it that I am not educated enough to go over here in this video, but just trust me, they are great shocks, and the customer service by far is the best. Ryland over at Locked Off-Road is the man, and if there's any issues or anything like that, he makes sure he takes care of you. So little companies, you get that benefit from. And same thing with Wicked Creations. Anything ever goes wrong with this kit, something wears out, which in my experience running the kit on my 5th gen, I never had any issues. The only things I had to replace after about 3 years was the actual uniballs inside of the top there, which is a common thing to wear out over time on long travel, especially if you're not greasing these on a regular basis, they can wear. So make sure you do that as a little side note. Moving on to the extended bump stops. These are Timberin bump stops, one of the best to do it in the off-road scene. These guys are awesome. I had the same extended bump stops on the Tacoma, and it's definitely something you're going to need if you're looking to upgrade your suspension this way. You can also run 35-inch tires. You don't necessarily have to go over the 38s. Another thing is Bora wheel spacers. On the Tacoma, I had a 2.5-inch spacer. I decided to go to a regular 2-inch wheel spacer this time around because I found the 2.5 on the Tacoma were just a bit too big. So I decided to go down, and so I decided to just stick with the 2-inch with the Bora wheel spacers. Now the wheel spacers are for the rear only. They help even everything out with the front, so it's not looking all goofy with the front being so wide and the back being not. Now, to raise the rear, I had 2-inch spacers and I had 2-inch coilovers in the Tacoma. I only needed about 3 inches of lift, so the Tacoma was sitting a little bit too high. So this time around, I decided to go with Dobson 3-inch rear springs. So this will give me my height in the back, and will be great for when I get a rear bumper and spare tire on there, because these 3-inch are the same I had on the 5th gen, and it held everything up perfectly. And then moving over to the big boys here. These are Nitto Trail Grapplers, and they are a 38-inch by 1350 with a 17-inch wheel. Love my trail grapplers. I've had them on all my rigs. I don't think I'll go to another tire anytime soon. Now in the center here we have beadlocks, locked off-road wheels. These guys are the Invader wheels. I'll leave a link to the video of the installation of these that I did not too long ago, as to this video not too long ago. But if you guys are interested in those, make sure you check out my beadlock installation video. Locked off-road wheels, awesome wheel company. These guys will take care of you as well. A couple things I don't have on this table currently, just because they still have to be made, are the cam tab reinforcements. Wicked Creation has cam tab reinforcements, so it helps your alignment with these big tires. It doesn't go slipping out and everything when you're off-road or even on road. You're gonna wanna upgrade the cam tabs. It is very important. They sell them for like $100 here at Wicked. I had them on the Tacoma. You're gonna want them on the 6th gen as well. Now, another process to this will be cutting the fenders. I can't get away with all this without any cutting. My whole idea is I don't want a big 6-inch, ginormous, ugly lift on here that's gonna tip over on the trail. What I want is to keep low center of gravity. I want the truck nice and low as I can, to fit the tires and still maintain my travel and all my performance. But for the sake of this video and my Viper cut video, just so you guys can see how to do it, I will be doing a Viper cut on the 6th gen, high clearance fender cut on the front and rear. All right, so we're gonna do a little test flex just to show what the stock suspension looks like on the 6th gen 4runner. That's about it, huh? That's about it. So that's about it. That is on your stock suspension on the 2025 4runner. So we're only up, yeah, not very much. But that's all about to change. Let's do this. All right, step one, disconnect the battery. We will be welding on the truck, so just to be on the safe side, make sure nothing short circuits or any bullshit happens. We're gonna disconnect battery, and now we're gonna get it up on the lift. So one thing we learned when we were doing the Tacoma is you have to take off the tube for the intercooler, because when you're doing the upper control arm, the bolt actually ends up hitting this and makes it impossible to get out. So if you are installing one of these kits, make sure you remove that so you get that bolt right there. And I'll show you when we get closer to that, but that's the bolt right there. It will hit that intercooler tube. So that's step two. Check out that Cybin carbon fiber hood. Oof. She is a beaut. All right guys, so just so you know, starting off, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the mud flaps and kind of undo all this stuff just so I don't have to mess with it later. There's some plastic pieces back here we're gonna have to get to. And then we'll start removing the upper control arm and the spindle and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and start getting this all taken apart. I'm gonna go from there. For those of you that don't know, the new generations of 4runner and Tacoma, they come with this removable body mount so that you can fit larger tires, which is really cool. So you just undo these bolts here, and this whole thing I'm gonna remove here, and I'll show you right after, but they wanted you to put bigger tires on here. 35s are solid for these new generations, and Toyota literally wanted you to do it. right, so now that I got everything disassembled from the passenger side, driver's side, so upper control arms, axles, lower control arms, all this stuff, nice and removed, ready for the Wicked kit. But before Wicked gets started, I'm gonna go ahead and drill out the cam tabs here. These are your stock ones, and we're gonna upgrade the cam tabs, so when I do have a larger tire, it's just gonna hold that much better. So less alignments are always a better thing. One down. All right, so moving into the back, removing the stock bump stop and adding in the Timberin extended bump stop. This is going to be essential for helping my up travel, well, limiting my up travel, but in the long run, it's going to help from the 38-inch tire bumping in to the wheel well here. And if you notice, this is all cut. I'm not going to go over it in this video because this is part one of long travel, but I do have a separate video going over the rear high clearance fender cut. I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can check that out and see exactly what to do and definitely not what to do. Kind of made a big mistake in that one. So let's go ahead and remove the stock bump stop and throw in the Timberin extended bump stop. And I already kind of loosened this, so it's just going to come off right now. Let's grab the new one. Now, Timberin, I used on the Tacoma, I used them on the 5th gen. I know a lot of people are wondering, well, why not just use the hydraulic bump stops? Well, the thing is, we don't have mounts fabricated for them yet, and it would just make everything go a little longer. So this is pretty much like this is obviously phase one of the build. There'll be a lot of changes over the years, but for right now, honestly, I think these are just as good as any hydraulic bump stop you're gonna get. All right, so now that I got the bump stop on, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the stock rear shock and get our locked off-road 2.5 shocks on.